Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And today's video, I thought that I would revisit a topic that I have not talked about in quite some time, and that is my whole experience with hiring a business attorney. So I've almost been in business for 4 years. We're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of Memory Box Candle Co. at the end of this month. And I want to say it was 10 or 11 months into business, I started seeking out advice or information from a legal professional because I really just had this kind of irking kind of feeling in the back of my head, thinking, I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything properly. I want to make sure that I'm legally sound, I'm legit, everything is good, and I'm not doing anything wrong. And basically that I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm somebody that does not ever want to get in trouble. So that was something that I really, really wanted to make sure of in the very beginning. And my whole thing was when I got started with business, being somebody who I had dabbled in businesses for years, but I had never done anything as legitimate as starting up this business. And I had never, ever even thought to seek out legal advice for anything that I was doing. So when I was seeking out information, I had a hard time with trying to figure out exactly what questions to ask to which legal professionals. So there's like tax professionals, like business, like law stuff, so attorneys and stuff like that. And I just didn't know which questions to ask to which person. So after I had kind of reached out to a couple of tax professionals in my area, I realized that there were questions that I needed to ask an actual business attorney. So that is what I did. So what I decided to do at the very beginning of 2021 was try to find a local business attorney that I could essentially just be able to ask my questions to. So I went on to my local Facebook group, and I think I either asked a question or I just did the search thing, and I searched for a business attorney, and I was recommended this one specific attorney in my area. So I decided to reach out to him, and, he was able to get me set up on, it was basically kind of like a consultation, but it did cost money to do the consultation. Now he, I believe, is $450 an hour, I believe. I think that's pretty standard, and I live in California, so it is going to be even more expensive around here as well. I think that is pretty standard for attorneys, and I know there's all different kinds of specialties with attorneys. So I remember reaching out and just kind of letting him know, hey, I just have some questions with my business, and I'm trying to, get these answered and make sure that I'm doing everything right. And I was also interested in, potentially forming an LLC or something like that, because I was just a sole proprietor at the time with a DBA. So we got everything set up, and I went to the attorney office, and I dressed up. I wore, slacks, button-down shirt. I think I had like heels on or whatever. Like, I was dressed up because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to an attorney's office. Like, this is legit. And I walked in, and it was just a nice little place, and they had me wait in a conference room. And man, this conference room was like, I may be able to put up a picture of like what it kind of looked like. And, just like in the movies of just this and I'm not like a corporate girl, I've never worked an actual regular corporate kind of job. So for those of you that have, this might be just totally normal for you. But for me, I'm like, man, this is intimidating. I'm by myself. I've just got started with this business. I think I was still 26 at the time. I think I was about to turn 27, or maybe I did turn 27. I think it was right around that time. And I just remember thinking this is very much this is real, this is legit. This is crazy that I'm even doing this. So I was able to talk to him, meet him, and get those questions answered. But something that I wasn't really prepared for was the services that would be provided to me or would be offered. For instance, because of all of my streams of income and how much money I was bringing in, it was recommended that I incorporated the business versus just doing an LLC for multiple different reasons, specifically in terms of being protected, like a single member S corporation is stronger legally than a single member LLC. And he went through all like kind of like piercing the corporate veil and all these different things that he was explaining to me. And to be honest, looking back, I realized that I really wish in that moment that I knew that I didn't have to just say yes or do whatever was recommended to me, that I could have taken more time to, research on my own or come home and talk to Chris or whatever it was. But I guess just in the moment, I don't know if I felt pressured or if it was just in the moment I was like, okay, well, this is legit, like this is what I gotta do kind of thing. And I don't necessarily regret incorporating my business or anything, because I definitely feel a lot more protected with everything that I have structured up until this point. But there are additional things that you do have to keep up, like annual minutes and stuff like that. So I do pay them yearly for them to keep up with everything with my S corporation. So that was something that I think going into it, I just had all these questions. I had specific questions like, do I need business insurance? Like, things that I didn't really know. I kind of thought, okay, maybe I know, but Google wasn't really telling me exact answers. And Google will never tell you exactly what you need based on where you exactly live, your city, your state. It is better to consult with a legal professional, like a tax professional or a business attorney for those questions, because they know the surrounding areas that you are in and they know what you actually need for your business. So it wasn't that looking back now, I am regretful of any of that. I think that I just was kind of feeling like it was really intense and it was a lot. And, I did end up obviously going through with incorporating and stuff like that. And it was really exciting. But man, I was not expecting how much money goes into it. And I know this kind of might go back to me just being naive or ignorant about the whole thing. But, when you are working with an attorney, you're going to be spending some money unless you just have questions that you're going to go in and pay, a half an hour or an hour price. That's really not going to be that much because you're just paying for that time with them. But any type of, for instance, incorporating the business, or I paid for getting my terms and conditions written, a wholesale contract, all those things take time for the attorney to go through and really tailor it to you and your business. So I understand the pricing that I paid for everything, but I'm like, man, like this is a lot. And, all of last year, I didn't get any services done outside of just the regular maintenance plan that I have. And, I really just, it is nice knowing that I do have a business attorney in case anything comes up, and knowing that I have, that protection around me. But it was kind of getting to the point where I felt like, every year I was spending thousands and thousands of dollars on these services. So I really had to take a step back and realize, okay, what am I actually needing for my business? And am I okay right now legally with everything that I have formed? Can I kind of take a step back from all of the attorney fees and everything that I'm paying for and really look at what is actually needed for my business? Because you guys, when I looked back to see how much I spent, now again, yeah, I'm working with an attorney. It's gonna be expensive. In 2021, I spent almost $5,800 in attorney, services. 2022 was $4,500. And then last year was $850 for like the maintenance. So over $11,000 so far in my business has been spent on attorney fees. Now, a couple things to note there, because I think some of you might be thinking, yeah, Erica, it's an attorney, like it's going to cost money. And then other people might be thinking, that was really unnecessary. You didn't need to spend that much money. I am definitely more on the former side of thinking. I know that when you are starting a legit business, there are fees, there are costs into that, specifically, legal wise. Because, when I think about, like LLC versus incorporating, it probably would have been less expensive to start an LLC. I know there still are fees and stuff that go into that, but it was much more involved process when it comes to incorporating. And it definitely felt this like, whoa, like I have a corporation. This is crazy. It definitely gave this like legitimacy and something that I'm like, okay, this is like going to make me go 100% into this business. Like this is not just something that I'm going to do for a couple years and then it's whatever after that. Like this is a long-term plan. And that in and of itself was something that kind of gave me motivation, but also it was almost kind of like a success for me in a way. That moment to me felt very successful because of all the years that I spent, trying to find a business that was going to not only make money, but something that felt right to me, something that felt like this is something that I should be doing. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And ever since I fell into this candle business, this has always been something that I'm like, this is right. Like this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So when I incorporated, that was a huge moment for me. But it was also a little scary, a little bit like, I came home and I told Chris, and it was just very like, I think the hardest part for me was when I came home. I was so overwhelmed with all of the information that was given to me. It was hard for me to take that information, comprehend it, and then be able to explain exactly why I was spending, $3,000-$4,000, however much it was to incorporate. And that I think that stressed me out because I'm like, do I even know what I'm doing? What did I sign up for? Why did I do that? And I think that looking back was something that was kind of a very kind of intimidating moment for me. It was really special and kind of like a crazy monumental moment in the business, but I was also looking back at it thinking, what the heck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Do I know what I'm doing? So that is something that I would probably recommend to anybody that is wanting or seeking out legal advice from a business attorney, is just know that you don't have to make any decisions in that moment. He had written out, or he wrote out kind of like it was like a suggestion list, essentially. It had prices and all that kind of stuff of what he was recommending for me to get done for the business and all that kind of stuff. And, just know that in that moment, you don't have to make any decisions. You can research some more. You can look into alternatives. You can look into whatever it is, unless you feel like in that moment, yes, this is what you need for your business. But I think that in the moment, I didn't really know that. As silly as that sounds, I kind of was just looking at it like, okay, like I got to do this because I want to make sure that I am, going to be legally sound in my business and it's going to be worth it for the price I'm paying. And I just really wish that, not necessarily that I didn't do it, I just wish that I would have given myself a little bit more time to do extra research into it so that I understood it, because I don't want you to jump into anything that you don't understand. And that is something that I am trying to do moving forward with everything in life, is that I want to make sure that before I put my money into something, I want to fully understand it. And that's something that I think is, just a good rule of thumb to go by, from now moving forward, just because you'll feel a lot better about where you're putting your money and you're not just like, okay, well, somebody told me to do this, so I guess I'll do it. But I really just kind of wanted to revisit this topic because I feel like some of you may have thought about the idea. Do you even need a business attorney? What are the reasons why you would need a business attorney? There were obviously, if you're wanting to form any kind of business entity, like an LLC is probably what most of you will be forming. That may be something that you might want to go to a local business attorney and get that done. I know there's online services and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's so many different alternatives to all of these different pieces of legal advice. But I think because we sell a product that is essentially, we're selling like contained fire to people, I just was willing to spend the extra money to make sure that we are very much protected because of the litigious society that we live in, and it just is what it is, because you can do as much testing and as much, warning labels and all that kind of stuff that you want to do. But I really just felt the most comfortable once I knew that, I had this bigger kind of wall of protection over the business. But I want to hear from you down below. Have you thought about hiring a business attorney? Do you want to hire a business attorney? Would it be just for a consultation? What kind of questions do you have in regards to that? I can try to answer them down below. But with that, I am going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo. And I will see you in my next video.